You've probably heard me talking about this self-sufficient living skills bundle that's been going on. And I have been spending the last week flipping through so many of the incredible resources within this bundle. Now, I will say there's a lot. There's over 118 different ebooks and courses and lessons sharing incredible wisdom and knowledge with you so you can live off the land and you don't have to rely on this corrupt and broken system for everything for your family. Anyways, I wanted to share some of my favorite things. One, first off, is off-grid homeopathy. This course is loaded with so much incredible knowledge, talking about homeopathy for first aid, for colds and flu, how to make your own homeopathic remedies. Like, as an herbalist who loves to teach that stuff, that's pretty exciting to hear it in the homeopathy realm. There's also some incredible fermentation guides, so many other amazing herbal recipes and food recipes, and how to make your own sourdough bread, how to do your own organic gardening and canning of all of your foods. Really, there is so much. And yes, I know. I've talked about it a ton, but this entire bundle is only $50 right now until Sunday, March 24th. I'm sharing my herbal first aid skills, which is a course that's $47 on its own. I'm sharing recipes that I used when I got my products into REI for herbal first aid kits and so much more. You'll have to check it out. I'm serious. Like, you can absolutely change your life with this bundle. So there is a link in the show notes for you, and I hope you check it out. I hope you take advantage. Don't worry, you don't have to go through everything right away. You can access everything for up to a year. Once you're in the course or have the download, it's yours for life. It is a steal of a deal. Okay, self-sufficient living skills bundle in the links for you. Hey, how's it going? How is the whole back to school thing going for you? If you are like many people that I know, you are stressed as all get out right now. And with good reason. I mean, this whole year in and of itself has been an outrageous stress ball, am I right? And now we've got back to school and we've got teachers having to completely relearn everything they've dedicated their lives to help kids learn, and also worry about what the parents are feeling, and also worry about their own health during a pandemic. And then, hey, fellow homeschoolers, how's it going for you? Is it okay? Are you okay? Are your kids okay? You know, I know we're all going to be okay, really we are. But I also know that times are really stressful for so many. And so I just really wanted to take a bit to share with you some of the great plant friends and allies that can help you through these stressful times simply by supporting your nervous system, whether it's calming and easing stress, or it's just tonifying and feeding and supporting your entire nervous system, or just helping you learn how to adapt to all of the stressors that are pretty much being thrown at us every single day this year. Herbs are your friends, and there are quite a few that know just what to do to help you be the best for back to school 2020.
Welcome to the Herbalist's Path, where we're on a mission to inspire a movement where there's an herbalist in every home, again, with your host, clinical herbalist, Melissa Mutterspaugh.
Wow. 2020, eh? The stuff just keeps coming at us, and with a quickness. Kind of like the quickness of the east winds that are blowing fire and smoke like mad in my Mount Hood community and far beyond here. Today it's September 7th as I record this episode, and I can walk outside, see the smoke in the air, and smell what is usually the sweet scent of fire everywhere. It's usually a smell that makes me so happy because I love camping and going outside. But today, that scent is frightening and downright stressful. And I'm not even sure that I've had a day since March that I haven't opened up that addictive handheld device of mine only to find some outrageous news as to what's going on in the world around me. I don't know about you, but I'd actually like to know about you. How are you holding up with all of the stressful things in 2020? And now, as we head back to school time, I have so many teacher friends that are posting about how much anxiety and stress they're feeling. They're having to learn completely new ways of teaching. That's absolutely not what they signed up for when they decided they wanted to become a school teacher. There are so many new rules and restrictions in place that they have to implement for young children, and some of these kids have a hard enough time following rules in the first place. They've got to worry about their own health and the risk factors of teaching in schools during a pandemic. Then they've also got to carry the weight of the stress of the parents' worries, and how many parents put those worries right onto the teachers. I mean, I know there's got to be so many. And can you imagine trying to teach second and third or fourth or first or whatever grade kids through a computer, and then being able to look at them as their faces are in little bitty squares on their screens on the other side of who knows where, and watch them fall asleep or just look completely bored and completely unengaged with what you're trying to teach, trying so hard to teach. And never mind the thoughts of the children who don't even have a place to call home or somewhere safe to tune in to these classes, or maybe they don't even have access to food now. I mean, it has got to be so hard right now to be a teacher in the United States. And while I'm opting to homeschool my daughter this year, and I'm really excited about it, I absolutely love teachers, and I truly think that they are the heroes and heroines of our world today. But I also love to teach, and I'm really looking at this as an incredible opportunity for me to bond with my daughter, who is only going to be 7 once in her life and only 7 once in my life. And I recognize that I'm so fortunate and grateful to have this perspective on the homeschool situation. There are so many parents that don't, and they're finding this to be one of the most stressful times they've ever been through. I'm a member of quite a few different Facebook groups of parents who are also homeschooling for the first time, and yeah, not all of them are dealing with it so well. They're in a complete state of overwhelm. Like, there's so many options and questions on the table, like, which course do I choose? Do I do online distance learning? Do I do part online, part in person? How will my kid have a social life? Who are they going to play with? How do I teach my kid while I've also got a full-time job to go to? And maybe even more than a full-time job. Oh, wait, never mind the fact that you've got to cook and maintain the home on top of that. Or, how do I make my homeschool area look as perfect as that mom over there on social media? I could never do that. I could never afford that. Or even, how in the hell am I going to feed my child now? I relied on the school lunches as a supplement to my child's diet. Am I doing the right thing? What the hell is the right thing anyway? Really, it's enough overwhelm to straight make your head spin and leave you mentally and emotionally exhausted. Am I right? But I'm not just here to preach the bad news to you. There is a bit of good news in this situation. And the good news that there are plants and herbs that can help you to manage the stress, to help you stay strong and help you work your way through the madness, to be the best you can be for yourself and your family. And since I don't anticipate that this whole stressful world we're living in is going to get any easier before it gets worse, I want to start by sharing with you adaptogenic herbs that can help you handle the stress. So adaptogenic herbs are herbs that help you, adapt to various stressors in life, whether they're emotional, physical, spiritual, or whatever kind of stressors you may be coming about. So adaptogens are often taken for a pretty long time and on a very regular basis to help battle long-term and chronic stress. They're not the herbs that just take away or melt the stress. They just really help you to handle your stress better without the extreme highs and lows that can come when we're under stress. My absolute favorite, total number one go-to herb is an adaptogen. And that is ashwagandha. You may have heard of it before. I love it because I am absolutely a woman who is so guilty of doing way too much. I run a business, I take care of my family, I deal with my daughter. I had a series where I moved way too many times in a short amount of time. I want to be an active part of my community and just so many other things. I think it's really common for many of us women to put too much on ourselves. And that's where ashwagandha comes into play. It's the one herb that just keeps me sane and keeps me from breaking down and crying during the toughest of times. It's the one I love to take on the regular when I am going through those most stressful periods of life. It's kind of a gentle herb, and what I mean by that, not that it's not super effective, because trust me, it really, really is. It's just that when I'm taking it, I don't necessarily notice that, oh my, I've got ashwagandha on board and that just feels great. Well, I do now because I have such a great relationship with the plant and I've been taking it for so long. So I can definitely be like, oh my, ashwagandha, I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But not everybody's going to feel that. And it's not like you notice right away. But when I do notice ashwagandha the most is when I'm going through stressful times and I forget to take ashwagandha. That's when I'm like, oh my God, suddenly I'm like, all the stressful things make me break down and cry. And, it's just so hard and I just want to quit and give up. And that doesn't happen when I keep my ashwagandha on board. So it's just a great herb. And not only does it help to reduce anxiety and lower cortisol, which is our stress hormone, it's also known to improve memory and mental focus. And that's just a piece of why I put it in my Where Is My Mind tea and why I think that Where Is My Mind is so effective. So I could shout from the mountaintops about how much I love ashwagandha all day long, but I want to share some more with you in this podcast, like this other excellent and totally delightful adaptogenic friend, holy basil. Holy basil is super popular in Ayurvedic medicine, and it's often referred to as the incomparable one, or mother medicine of nature, or the queen of herbs. And as if that wasn't enticing enough, holy basil is just really fantastic to have in your stress relieving toolkit because it's absolutely delicious to drink in tea. I don't know why I don't have a Tulsi or holy basil tea yet, but I'm sure I will one of these days soon. It's so delicious. It'll happify your taste buds like no other, which is great because then it makes it easier to get on board your body. I know that it's not always easy for people to take tinctures or pop pills, but if you can find a way to get herbs into your body that is pleasant and enjoyable, then you are golden. Tulsi has also been shown to counter metabolic stress through normalization of your blood glucose, blood pressure, and lipid levels, and psychological stress through the positive effects on memory and cognitive function. And also, it's wonderful for soothing anxiety and great as an antidepressant. Another little cool thing about Tulsi is that the growers of Tulsi have a spiritual and practical significance that connects the farmer to the creative powers of nature, and organic cultivation of Tulsi offers solutions for food security, rural poverty, hunger, environmental degradation, and climate change. Need I say more? A daily Tulsi tea ritual can really give a great example of some of the ancient knowledge of plants and offering solutions to our modern problems. A lot of knowledge that's come through for centuries that often today we don't pay attention to. So another herb that I think is fantastic, it's not an adaptogen, so to speak, but it is milky oats, and they are a nervine. And a nervine simply means that it's an herb that acts on the nervous system. So there can be sedating nervines that are going to be nice and relaxing. We'll talk about a few of these as I go through this podcast. There can be stimulating nervines, like think coffee or anything with caffeine in it. That is a nervine. It's acting on your nervous system by jacking you up. And there could be nervine tonics, which is where milky oats fall under, meaning that it's going to support or feed your nervous system and is really great to have on board when you're under extreme stress. And yes, milky oats are totally the same plant that oatmeal comes from. It's Avena sativa, and it's specific for cases of nervous debility and total exhaustion that's also associated with depression. So it can be used with other nervine herbs, both the relaxing and the stimulating kind, and it just does a lot of work to help strengthen your entire nervous system. The ideal way to get milky oats on board in your body, if you can't just have access to them while they're fresh, is to find access to them while they're fresh and in their milky state, like the top little seed pods up there. If you squeeze them, they ooze out this milky-like substance, and that's where you're going to get the really, really good stuff that's just going to provide your nervous system with the support and tonification that it really needs. And the best way to preserve that, since they're only going to be milky one time a year, is to make a tincture with those fresh oat tops. You can also later make infusions of the dried oat tops and oat straw, which is just incredibly nutritive. And we also use it in a few of our blends for the nervous system support and, of course, the nutritive benefits too. Another herb that I just love, love, linden. Yeah, linden flower. Just... I think of linden, and I know you can't see me right now, but I just have the biggest smile on my face, a smile filled with love, because I think of linden and I just feel like I am getting this beautiful hug wrapping its branches all around my body as if to say, it's okay, Mel. Whatever you're going through is okay, and you can get through it. I mean, just thinking about this tree right now is helping me to feel less stress immediately. It's really amazing. It's also a fantastic heart tonic herb, so it's known to help prevent hypertension and thickening of your arteries. It's very specific to help lower high blood pressure in relation to nervous tension. So its relaxing properties combined with its heart toning properties makes it really nice if you're somebody who suffers from migraines. It's just this beautiful tree, and the flowers are the part that most people use for the medicine. I just... Have I expressed that I love linden? Because I totally do. When I'm just really going through a bunch of crap, it's the one that I look at and I'm just like, oh, thank you. Thank you, Linden, for your love. So I guess the love is reciprocal between us. You can use linden in a tincture form, in a tea, or dried herb form. I use it in quite a few of my teas, including Unfrazzle Your Dazzle and our Wonderful Woman's. We use it in our Sweet Dreams or Made of Teas too, and I think that's a huge piece as to why those blends are so effective. Linden. I love linden. So another herb that I want to share with you, I think this one is really, really important because it is definitely a sedating nervine, but it is a super powerful nervine. And one thing that is very important to your overall health and well-being in life is ensuring that you get enough sleep. Because when you don't sleep, that in and of itself is stressful and one of the quickest ways to deteriorate all the rest of your body's functions. So I want to share with you passion flower. And if you are lucky enough to be near a Google box where you can look up the images of a passion flower, oh my gosh, please do. It's just one of the most incredibly beautiful flowers I've ever had the pleasure of seeing. And maybe I say that a lot about a lot of different flowers, but I mean, seriously, passion flower is amazing to look at. And it's really fantastic if you're somebody who suffers from insomnia. So it can just help you get to that deep state of sleep without waking up with like the hangover that you can get from some of the other like sleeping pills and sleeping aids out there. So for me, it really helps me to wake up feeling really refreshed and like, holy crap, I just got some serious sleep. Instead of like groggy and lethargic and, oh man, do I have to get up now? I was in such a deep state of sleep. Yeah, it doesn't do that. You're like, cool, I'm ready to crush this next day because I'm well rested. It's definitely not an herb that you want to take during the day so much as that its strong sedative powers can make you fall asleep. I like to use passion flower in a tea. You can also use it in a tincture. It's just a really, really fantastic blend to help calm and soothe your nerves and give you a break and some good rest. And speaking of breaks, here comes a little break and a message from our wonderful sponsor. Hey, I wanted to take a quick pause to show some love and gratitude to our sponsors of the Herbalist Path podcast, who make this show possible for me and possible for you too. So here it goes. Medicinal mushrooms are all the rage these days, if you didn't know already. And with great reason, because they are powerful medicine that can improve your health and your life in so many different ways when they're well made. Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of stuff on the market that isn't going to be so effective. And that's why you need to find a brand that you can actually trust. For me, that brand is Whole Sun Wellness, and this is the creation of a brilliant woman and fellow mama, Jamie Bonfiglio. She's an international mushroom educator that has been working in the medicinal mushroom industry for years. And this is when she saw firsthand how many other companies take shortcuts when it comes to their products. And Jamie wasn't having it. She set out to build her company the right way. Whole Sun Wellness is here to raise the industry standards so those crap mushrooms on the market aren't getting into your body or your family's body. Whole Sun Wellness is the first company to test and report nutritional facts for all of their extracts. They go beyond industry standards every step of the way, from sourcing to extraction and final testing. And as the owners of the largest medicinal mushroom farm in the United States, Whole Sun Wellness is taking control of their supply chain for the highest quality and absolute full transparency. They're even the first company to include pure mycelium extract in every single product. So when you're thinking of getting medicinal mushrooms for you and your family, Whole Sun Wellness is exactly the ones you want. Also, be sure to check out their new mycolights. These are the world's first dissolvable electrolyte tablets. They're featuring functional mushroom extracts that'll give you more energy, more stamina, and recovery as well. And who couldn't use all of that? The other thing is, they are these adorable little mushroom-shaped tablets, and they come in like a little Altoids box, but way cooler than Altoids because they're mycolights. Anyways, head to wholesunwellness.com to grab yourself some mycolights and all of the other functional medicinal mushrooms that you and your family need. And of course, you can grab that link right here in the show notes now.
Oh, man. It's that time of year again. Yeah, I'm talking about back to school. And this year, it's filled with all sorts of new challenges. Are there any parents out there like me that are spinning in circles, wondering what we're going to do about all this? Well, it's hard on a brain and a body, and sometimes right down to my soul. But the fine folks at Mountain Mel's have put together my saving grace in tea form. Their new Maintain Your Brain tea bundle is a complete hug-in-a-mug package. Where is my mind for mental clarity and focus? Digesties to soothe those belly butterflies. And unfrazzle your dazzle when it's time to chill out and recharge. This power pack really does hit all those sweet spots, mind, body, and soul. So, head on over to mountainmel's.com and check out Maintain Your Brain and their other bundles and kits. Save 15% by using code THP15 at checkout as our thanks for listening. We think you deserve it.
So we often talk and think about stress as it relates to our adult lives and how life was so much easier when we were kids and things just weren't so stressful. But the reality is that these kids feel the stress too. Like, it is hard for them to be away from their friends right now. It's hard to have to sit on a computer and try and stay focused on this learning stuff that they're being put through. It's hard to feel your parents feeling stress. Like, I like to relate this to my daughter, Anira. I am a little personal here, but I'm coming out of a good 2.5, 3 years of incredibly stressful times for me. And it's safe to say they were definitely the most stressful times I have been through in my adult life so far. And I spent a lot of time crying in those days and just trying to figure out how to deal with it all. And my daughter would look at me and just be like, "Mom, are you going to cry again?" Which of course made me cry more. But it's really fascinating because about a year ago now, I finally woke up and was like, hold on. Like, I am the one that runs this life, and I don't have to be stressed and sad and depressed. And like, yeah, sure, stressful situations are bound to come about in life, but really it's all about our mindset and how we choose to handle it, right? Well, I was definitely stuck in this mindset of despair and woe is me-ism, and due to varying circumstances that had happened. And during this time, I would see my daughter also stressed and sad and hard to deal with. And, you know, she would have meltdowns and, you know, maybe some of it was age relevant, but since I've begun shifting my own personal mindset and really taking a bit more control over how I perceive things throughout life, I've watched my daughter become happier and more active and more successful and more willing to try new things. So, yeah, the kids are definitely adversely affected when they feel their parents under stress. And that's why I'm going to spend a little time here talking about a few of my favorite herbs for kids dealing with stress. And of course, these can be great herbs for parents too. Don't get me wrong. They're just very child safe. And, it is back to school time. And while we're all feeling the stress, as I said, they most certainly are too. So, a really popular herb that you may or may not know of that is really fantastic for the kiddos and calming their nerves is chamomile. And it is a sedating nervine, and it's just a wonderful herb to just calm the little kiddos down. It is a great sleepy time herb for them. So if you want to have like an evening tea time ritual, a little chamomile along with some of the herbs I'm about to talk about, it's just a delightful tea. I mean, it's so sweet smelling, and it can just send your mind and body and soul on this lovely journey of calm and ease. So it's a really great friend to have on hand if you or your kids suffer from anxiety. It helps if you suffer from insomnia or even menopausal depression. Chamomile helps to relax and tone your nervous system, and it's really well used in a tea or a tincture or even the essential oil. Of course, I use chamomile a lot for various reasons in all kinds of my teas, and it's just so lovely. It's beautiful to look at, and it's beautiful to smell. Like, I love when we open up a fresh bag of chamomile in the shop as we're blending our teas. It's so nice. Another cool trick that I love to do with chamomile that the kids totally dig is to make like a chamomile honey. And you could do it with dried chamomile where you just blend it in some, hopefully you can find access to a local raw honey and let them kind of meld together. And then you just have the sweetest honey. You can eat it with apples or toast or, put it in your tea if you like to sweeten up your tea or whatever you need. It's a really, really nice herb. And it's a really, aside from the nervous system, it's a really great herb for tummy upset. So if your kid's got a tummy ache and they're feeling stressed about it, boom, chamomile, totally your friend. So another herb I love to talk about for the kiddos is, shocking, another favorite of mine. Is there such thing as saying that too many herbs are your favorite? I don't know, but if there is, I'm aiming for that goal, it seems. But this one is lemon balm, and I love lemon balm, one, because it's kind of my namesake. I mean, for those of you that don't know, Mel is not my given name. I am a Melissa, and lemon balm's Latin name is Melissa officinalis. And while I wasn't named after the plant, I'll still take it. I was named after the Allman Brothers song, Sweet Melissa, which is fascinating because lemon balm's kind of sweet scented, and it can be a touch bitter at times, but it's also known as nature's sunshine. Lemon balm is bright and uplifting, and yet it's a gentle nervine, and she's so delicious. She's a really, really great friend to have on hand as we enter into the darker months of the year. She's very specific for seasonal affective disorder and other really deep, dark states of depression. Her antidepressant actions can just help relieve all of that tension and stress. I know some herbalists that use it as what's called a tropha restorative, so it helps to restore normal functionality to systems, like the nervous system specifically here. Lemon balm is lovely. If you use it with St. John's wort for seasonal affective disorder, excuse me and my tongue twisters, that is a really, really great combo. And yeah, St. John's wort, another herb to just side shoot off with, a great herb and is commonly known as like the depression herb because our media and some other crazy people just threw it out there that St. John's wort was, oh, you're sad, go to St. John's wort. But that's not really what St. John's wort is about. Yes, it is helpful for those in states of deep depression, but what it's specific for is during times of great tragedy and loss. Let's say maybe you were fired from a career, or you're going through divorce, or you're grieving the loss of a loved one or something along those lines. That's when St. John's wort really, really comes into play and does its magic. But yeah, St. John's wort and lemon balm together, for those of you that, have a tendency to get really depressed during the darker months of the year, probably a good time to ask your neighbors or see if you've got some of that lemony delicious plant growing up in your own yard. Just a really, really, really lovely friend to have around. There's a good wealth of other herbs that can help you and your nervous system. I know a lot of people like to go to lavender, and I absolutely love lavender. I would always dab a little bit of lavender essential oil or throw some sprigs of lavender under my daughter's pillow when she was a baby to allow her to sleep well. It just brings a nice, peaceful state of mind. And, as I talk about all these herbs with you, I think that it is very important to mention that your body may react differently to different herbs than anything I even just said, or than what other people's bodies react, or how other people's bodies react. So, if you're noticing that you've decided to try one of these herbs and it just doesn't feel that way for you, pay attention. Pay attention to your body and pay attention to what it's saying to you, and try something else. Or even better yet, find yourself a qualified herbalist who knows what they're talking about and loves to work with people and plants and help them come together with the right combinations. Or go find yourself a naturopath that can help you navigate through these tough times. These plants are fantastic allies, and they can absolutely help you. And it's just so important that they are used in the proper ways. So, we've got 4 more months of 2020, and we're going to make it through, and we will eventually come out brighter and better than ever before. I'm a firm believer in that. So hopefully you guys can also believe in that with me. And I hope you found a lot of great information out of this episode. If you did, please share it with your friends that need to hear it, especially those teachers or the homeschoolers that are struggling. We need to stay strong, and we need to support our nervous system. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Herbalist Path. Let's create a movement where there's an herbalist in every home again. It's an honor to have you, and I'll talk to you soon.
This has been the Herbalist's Path, where we're on a mission to inspire an herbalist in every home again. Thanks so much for joining us. If you'd like to support our mission, please subscribe, rate, and review to help others find us. Together, we can make herbalism #spread like wildflowers. Wishing you all a lovely day. Bye for now.
It has been so much fun and so, joyous watching all of my medicinal plant friends popping up in my garden, from the elecampane to the comfrey and the arnica. I love seeing these friends pop up And if you are still trying to decide what to grow in your medicinal herb garden, you've got to grab my guide. It's all about the most essential herbs that every mom should know and should grow. So I teach you how to grow them and the many different ways that you can use them. If you want to grab the guide, go ahead. It's free, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of delight and use out of it. And there's a link to it in the show notes. I'm wishing you tons of happy medicine planting.